part of the crowd of better than 70, well, actually over 90,000 people, some of the tent pavilions, as we're ready to start Heat 1A. Some of the drivers going out. Larry Lauterbach driving for the man on the right, Steve Reynolds, who miraculously is even here after that horrible accident on July 5th. The helmet, the gloves, Steve basically a tutor, you might say, for Larry. Scott Pierce, a veteran of Unlimited Racing, Limiteds as well, strapping in to the Mr. Pringles turbine-powered unlimited hydroplane. And what a beautiful sight. Since July 5th when that boat flipped, it's back and it's racing. And Steve Reynolds is back as well, not as a driver, but certainly as a consultant. Steve Reynolds.
Yeah.
What do you think, seeing that baby of yours go out again?
It's hard, but I like to see it going out just like that.
What'd you tell Larry just before he headed out?
Good luck. Good luck, and be careful.
And turn left.
And turn left, yeah.
Okay. This is Jack Schaefer driving the boat headed up by Jerry Kenny, the Kenny Toyota Volvo, and let's look at the drivers. First of all, Jerry Hopp out of the Seattle area, driving the Jackpot Foods Garrett Turbo. Ron Armstrong, been in the last couple races, starting in Seattle in '87, driving the Miss Lighthouse Inn. Ron Snyder, the veteran out of the state of Ohio, driving for the community of Madison, Indiana. Jack Schaefer and the Kenny Toyota Volvo Mazda, long name. Many moons ago, this man was the Rookie of the Year, Scott Pierce, driving the Mr. Pringles. And technically a rookie, Larry Lauterbach in his first competitive race in the Unlimiteds, even though he's a veteran at the limited level. Let's go racing. A full complement of boats today, a full 12 boat field, 6 in each heat as you see, and the Mrs. Madison. We'll talk more as Jim mentioned briefly what that's all about. The start is good on this 3-lap Heat 1A. All preliminary heats, only 3 laps. We have an extra flight, that being 3A and 3B, but here come the boats, and only 5 are running. It looks like the Kenny Toyota did not make the start, so 5 boats running as they go into the first turn. On the outside with the blue air intake system, that being the Successor 1 making its return. It tried to qualify down in San Diego. Jim Lucero able to build that boat back up after that horrible accident in Madison, Indiana, involving driver Steve Reynolds. The boat is back, though, and competing with Larry Lauterbach out of the state of Virginia at the helm. And you can see it's like an ocean out there right now. Huge swells, really causing problems. The Wholesome Mrs. Madison, Ron Snyder, struggling his way through that second, or check that first turn, as they now go into the second turn. Again, only 3 laps, so it's very quick. You've got to get your business done in a hurry. Scotty Pierce and the Mr. Pringles in first place in lane number 1, and in lane number 2 to his outside hip. Ooh, nearly hooking it was Larry Lauterbach in the Successor 1. The 2 sponsons digging in the pickle forks, and he came around a little hotter than he wanted to say the least. Checking on the speeds on lap number 1. Goodness, only 106 and 104 for the 2 lead boats. That tells you how bad it is out there. Both of them qualifying it much faster than that. There's the Lighthouse Inn with Ron Armstrong out of Southern California. Some of the fans here in the pits, better than 90,000 people here, we're told. A good crowd as they come down in front of the pits on lap number 2. The Wholesome Miss Madison there, and you saw in the background. And Scott Pierce now holding on to first place, going down the back chute. In second, Larry Lauterbach, Successor 1, owned by Steve Woomer out of Seattle, Washington. Both boats out of the Seattle area, and a good race for first and second. Scott Pierce, the winner in Detroit. Look at the boats as they go way up, thrown up into the air because of these swells. This just isn't good, safe racing. It's that simple. This water is horrible right now for these boats to try to even run, let alone compete. But somehow Lauterbach is still up there. He's knocking on the door and challenging Scott Pierce, and he's got him. Successor 1 moving into first place. Lauterbach for the first time in his career leading in an unlimited hydroplane race. Scott Pierce and the Mr. Pringles in second place. Their engine, the turbine, the marine turbine system, not working in that salt water down in San Diego in the Gold Cup last week. But they are back on fresh water and performing much better, about as well as the water will allow it. Ron Snyder here, he's a great rough water racer, but boy, when you got conditions like this, it's just a matter of attrition, a matter of survival. And again, Lauterbach almost hooks the Successor 1. That creates incredible stress on the front of those sponsons. There's a spar that goes from sponson to sponson across in front of the driver, keeping them together, but the stress and the force is unbelievable. Coming down on lap number 3 with the lead, and it looks like he'll get 400 points. Yes, indeed. The Successor 1, first place, and second place here in Heat 1A goes to Scott Pierce and the Mr. Pringles. The numbers, as you see, only 5 boats finishing. The Kenny Toyota unable to start, but the Wholesome Mrs. Madison, the Lighthouse Inn, and Jackpot Foods coming in 5th. down to the pits.
All right, the first competitive ride in an unlimited first competition, and he wins his first heat. Not too shabby, Larry.
Thank you, Jimmy. I'd tell you, it's a neat boat. It's just a great honor for the whole Southern One team, Jim Lucero, Steve Woomer. These guys went way on the limb to putting the rookie driver in this boat. And
but you're really not a rookie. You've raced so many races in your time in other classes and have been a champion, but you moved up.
No, this is the true champion right here.
Yeah. Well, listen, you took a pretty good seat away from this guy. Of course, he's anxious to come back.
Yeah, I know that. He keeps standing by my side now. I say, look, Larry, don't do too good now.
I tell him that too. Don't do too good.
But no, it's really great. It's the whole thing is really exciting.
Cellular One winner of Heat 1A, Larry Otterback, and of course his coach, the big guy, Steve Reynolds. How about Mr. Pringle's action? Let's go down to Don. Don?
My, what a difference a week makes. Get away from that salt water, and you look pretty darn good out there, Scott.
Yeah, Don, the boat ran pretty good. The conditions are really poor, and can't keep the boat in the water. And I got tangled up with Lauderback down on the first turn, and he didn't hold his lane real good, so I had some damage on the wing. We can run a lot harder than that. The problem that we have is that the boat's not in the water at all. You know, we just keep doing the big leaps and bounds. We do that, we're overspeeding the turbines. That's worse than salt water. That'd take the life right out of them. So I'm real concerned right now that we'll be able to get all the heats in. The boat is running excellently. If we can keep the engines together, we'll have her made.
Next up, the continuing battle for the world championship in Las Vegas.